Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here an article that will not make my environmentalist, American environmentalist happy, or any person who likes going fishing or drinking water, tap water, in the United States of America. This article obviously comes from Sputnik, which is a Russian news media, and it's from the 18th of October 2022. This is the title: Majority of US waterways contaminated by cancer-linked forever chemicals. Analysis reveals. So it says per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAs, have been used in many consumer and industrial products since the 1940s. Often used to make products water resistant, they break down very slowly over time and tend to build up in both the human body and the environment. PFAs have been linked to cancer and disease in humans. Waterkeeper Alliance, a worldwide network of environmental organizations focusing on clean water, recently determined that a majority of US waterways were polluted with cancer-linked forever chemicals. The agency conducted its analysis of US waterways in May and July of this year, 2022, taking 228 samples from 114 different rivers and streams across 34 states and the District of Columbia. Researchers found that 83% of the samples were found to have PFAs at a level that exceeded federal limits, with 70% of those water sources detecting the most dangerous kinds of chemicals, PFOS and PFOA. Good job. And I'm quoting, "The results clearly show widespread PFAS contamination across the country and demonstrate that existing laws and regulations are inadequate for protecting us," said Meg Yagi, CEO of the Waterkeeper Alliance. The alliance blames lax regulations governing the ways industrial companies dispel chemicals into the environment, though the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, recently lowered its health advisory limit for PFOA and PFOS down to 0.004 and 0.2 parts per trillion ppt, effectively deeming that no level of exposure is safe. In some areas, contamination levels were thousands to thousands of thousands times higher than recommended levels, according to the study, with the greatest concentrations of PFOA found in a Pennsylvania creek, 847 parts per trillion. However, in New York, 100% of the waterways tested were contaminated by the chemicals. The Guardian: U.S. drinking water more contaminated with forever chemicals than EPA tests show. According to the research, landfills, airports, paper mills, and wastewater treatment plants, an estimated 30,000 facilities, are among the common sources of PFAs, which make addressing the problem expensive. But third-party reviewers of the study emphasize the importance of lowering the numbers. Gen X, a newer kind of PFAs often used in Teflon coating, cell phones, and other kinds of technology, was found at 25.8 ppb in Cape Fear River, North Carolina, which is more than 2 times the EPA's health advisory level. According to other reports, Gen X was originally created as an alternative to older PFOAs, but is notoriously difficult to filter out of water. Bob Baucock, who founded the integrated resource management environmental compliance firms, said in a statement that the Hill that non-essential uses of PFAS should end and that cleanup of highly contaminated sites should be prioritized. And I'm quoting, when we began testing waterways for PFAS earlier this year, we knew that our country had a significant PFAS problem, but these findings confirm that was an understatement, said Mark Yagi in a statement. Now, waterkeeper groups are now asking Congress and the EPA to act with appropriate urgency to remediate the PFAS contamination across the country, including a Clean Water Standards Act, which aims to establish requirements and incentives limiting the discharge of PFOS and PFOAS under the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. Phew, did you hear that? Did you hear that? That the majority of U.S. waterways contaminated by cancer-linked forever chemicals. Majority. And we got here another subtitle, The Guardian, from The Guardian, U.S. drinking water more contaminated with forever chemicals than EPA tests show. Is anybody hiding this information from us? I'm wondering, right? Researchers found that 83% of the samples were found to have PFAS at level that exceeded federal limits, with 70% of those water sources detecting the most dangerous kinds of chemical PFOS and PFOA. Well, so what are we going to do about it? I think it's too late, so let it be. It's these chemicals are there, and I don't know, it's hard to break them, and a long time will take to break them out of the, and they deposit on your body, and what can you do? Don't drink anything? It's unbelievable. Maybe go in the mountainside and mountain streams and get water from there. Maybe that will help. We don't have anything that this guy said around airports and landfills and whatever was there over there, treatment plants and who knows what else, garbage. And these guys are playing with nature. It's so much garbage that we wonder why the cancer is so prevalent. I remember when I was a kid, you hardly hear someone having cancer in the whole town. I mean, you would know them by first name, that guy or that guy, and that's it. And nowadays is, I don't know, we eat garbage that looks like food, smells like food, and you know, tastes like food, but it's not food. It's modified with whatever these guys modified it. All the chemicals, all the hormones, we have no chance. I mean, it looks good. I mean, remember again, when I used to have an apple, I go to the marketplace from the peasants that were bringing to the cities apples. You would buy an apple and you would just leave it on the counter for 2 days. It was going bad, rotten. Here, you take it, you leave it here, you come in 20 years, you find it, just take the dust off of it, dust it off and eat it. Tastes great, but that's not food, it's something else. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth and be just.